Hello, and today we'll continue with String Zero. We started this series in the last video, and I'm not going to recap everything that happened. You can go read, you can go watch that video and see what happened. But if you already watched part one, then you can go ahead and tune into this video now. And this is the main character here. He's a human, and this is like a high-tech world. And it's basically a mix of a high-tech world and I guess a world that's in ruins. I guess I don't know. Maybe it's just this particular city, but something happened. Anyway, continue. Heat, smoke, electrosacs, a kaleidoscope of everything Sinleos is not. The ruined remains of a vast metropolis. I squint, cough, and stick a finger in my ear all at once. We lived out of the tailspin of respite for several years now, but every time I return, it's like entering another louder world. I glance over my shoulder as the door slides shut, immediately feeling like I've trapped myself in a casket. I take a breath and shake my head. It's just family, Ravi. You're not dying. Moving forward, I pull off my gloves and let the sultry instrumental tones of warm beat soothe me. Ahead, the entrance vestibule opens up into a decorated waiting area, while a hallway to the side leads to the Grand Meridian elevator and down to the underground metropolis of New Leos. The vast living metropolis deep beneath Sinleos. This is underground here. There's a few people mingling there, dressed in electric and holographic finery. No doubt the hallway will be packed with a line of impatient patrons soon. I weave around a few chatty and decidedly more earthy sailors, and then step up to the long doorman's desk that bars entry, opulent and gorgeous. A lot of the club is like that. Hey, Jiv. I lift a hand. Jiv glances up from the holographic interface and lights his granite face dimly. Head of security at the Tailspinner's Respite. Middle-aged and handsome enough, he has one of those bodies made for bouncing sculpted to take hits. His deep voice is at once both rough and smooth, like Watts Tumbled was saying. Oh, hello, Javi. Oh, hello, Avi. Welcome back. His ears flick. I didn't expect you to return so soon. I fold my arms. Yeah, well, neither did I, honestly. I guess news of my spitting match with Dad got around already. You weren't quiet. He's not well. Yeah. My cheeks flush. He taps a few transient buttons on the desk's sepulture security display and then gestures to my weapons. Give me just a few minutes. Then we can get you checked in. I lean over the desk a bit to see him organizing several columns of names. Elevator audit tonight. I turn around preparing for the audit. It's always tedious. My eyes fall on one of the many holographic advertising displays lining the walls of the waiting area. Neon musicians sway with their instruments as the living dancers swing provocatively. Some of the displays have menus, event calendars, and some. Welcome to the Tailspinners Respite, home of passion, peril, and pizzazz. Half dead. I shake my head. Want to make a deal or formalize a contract, network and lavish surroundings with top-tier performances. Carnival to a Respite, where everyone is welcome. Sure, Dad. May as well add extort and luxury, bribe, blackmail, backstab, where anything goes so long as it wears civility like a suit. I sigh a look and stare towards the quickly growing crowd. Home sweet home. Turning back, I peek past Jeff into the club proper to see wisps of perfumed smoke swirl from the bar towards the vaulted ceiling. The place isn't crowded yet, but the growing noise behind me suggests that it'll change soon. Actually, the place is even more vibrant than usual. Reflective silks and streamers hang from the hazy ceiling, illuminated by hidden lights to offer the impression of some kind of dripping, color-drenched dreamscape. Huh? There's some big act tonight, Jeff. He presses a few more buttons to wrap up his work and nods, thumbing towards the stage. Sure is. Aaron managed to hire a jazz singer last minute. Barely got any promo vids or sound bites out in time. Jazz singer, no Sid. Crazy, I've never met one personally. I look past Jeff again towards the stage, toggling my vision. I could have the interface linked directly with my visual cortex now that I don't need its thermal protection. But that wouldn't be stylish. The visual flashes and I check my loom to make sure I'm not forgetting anything important. Singers are a rare breed, like Radiance, users of the swag. Blah blah. Folks who can spin ambient jazz without the need for tech. I don't pretend to know anything about how jazz works without a technological medium. If Dad hired a singer, that would explain all the extra color. In places like this where the jazz thickens with high emotion, they can tease it out to affect large audiences, sonic narcotics or something. Hence the name, I guess. Morally dubious businessman 101. Keep a stone out of the gourds audience too distracted to stop buying drinks or tighten their lips. Dad's always on top of things, I'll give him that. Hey, Jeff rests a thick elbow against the desk. This ain't a Phantasm cafe. He taps the glossy wood. Weapons. I rolled my eyes, but pulled out my Radiance pistol from an interior jacket holster as well as a folded up ultralight drone I keep strapped to the small of my back. Mercifully, it wasn't crushed by Kavir's antics. I then disengaged my visor. Fuck off. He just wanted to see Yui's gun. Jeff picks up the pistol and and smiles at it longingly. Jeff picks up the pistol and smiles at it longingly, turning it over in his hand. Maybe I do. Its hilt is chaya black, marble blue, and flecked gold, while the slender barrel and the rest of the metal has an onyx luster attached to a compact energy cell. The whole thing is engraved with elegant Vachian calligraphy, related to the capital C of Swad Hazra. Beautiful. He activates the weapon. It hums as energy dimly swirls through the loosened and whirls of metal. The man lifts the gun to chest height, reading. Would that every shot instead be a word? Once I speak only in hope for silence, and that I never be handled by unjust hands, lest the next word be our last. I nudged the barrel away from my torso. Do we need to have this ritual every time, Jeff? Well, you haven't taken the hint yet. Jeff deactivates the pistol, its internal light fading. You know, my birthday's coming up. Not a chance. Yuri would actually kill me. Jeff laughs at a subterranean sound. She most certainly would. He sets the pistol down, almost stroking it. If only racing, order, sidearms didn't have the same bad habit of auto. If only racing, order, If only racing order sidearms didn't have the bad habit of overloading and drying with their flow. If only racing order sidearms didn't have the bad habit of overloading and dying with their owners. Holy warriors from Swadasvar. Then there might be a few left for the rest of us. I wave off the comment. As if either of us could afford one, then 12 finger. Please stop trying to give my gun an orgasm and let's get Please stop trying to give my gun an orgasm and let's get on with it. Besides, aren't you retired? Why do you even need it? His laugh fades to a chuckle. Ever heard of collecting? Besides, I'm retired, not dead. I can still shoot that dick off your ear without grazing a hair. Now treat this baby with more respect. I'm gonna make Ureli an offer she can't refuse. Just you wait. I treat it with plenty of respect. I just don't kiss it every night before bed like you want me to. He points to the gun. Don't be real near the lady. She can hear you. I groan. He laughs again and waves a hand. All right, chill. A few taps to the console, and the ceiling emits a pair of thin beams, one for the weapons and one at me, to verify any funky business is left to the musicians. So about that singer, they're here now? Anything special about this one? I look away. I read about them on patch notes not too long ago, some net chatter about how not all of them are actually singers, and they can have pretty diverse abilities too. And then look back. Info the room the loom doesn't typically have. Oh, you're a fan? More like professional interest, jazz and all. Patch notes pointed to a runner news story, so I dug around a little more. Something about disappearances and how performing seems like the only way to get patronage and protection. My ability is the same, but the similarities mentioned in the story were disconcerting enough. That's so. Well, can't say one way or another. Not had too much experience with them. All I know is that this one looked this type, fancy suit, flashy holographic bullshit. Didn't talk to them? Why would I? It's not my job to interrogate the talent. Especially with the backing this guy has. He's a jazz singer, Ravi. They're like trophies of the corporals. I've had enough comedy least cyber wolves chasing me for one last time. I'm not about to walk the boat. Like you said, I'm retired now. Jazz runner emeritus or whatever. He tucks down his vest. Respectable. That's a fact? Or could it be the famous jazz runner Jeff Blasters lost his edge? Scared of a few cordons agents, maybe? What does the net say? Mr. Snow Thunder spooked. The desk groans as Jeff leans his intimidating bulk against it. Now what? Zimmerton would go and say something foolish like that? Tech punk, Patois, a prideful idiot, a general term of disparagement, or disparagement. I went and left my sodas. Jeff looks from me to his jazz reinforced claws, inspected them. Tell me, Wavi, why do you think I'm here? You finally caved to that lifelong dream of bouncing? He clicked his tongue and waggles a finger. How about we count how many wonders have reached their 60s in recent memory? He flicks my soda. Cow. Feels like a punch. 1. He pauses, staring at his finger as if mystified. Well, look at that. Just 1. I want my soda. Ease, it was a joke. He gently straightens the collar of my jacket. Knowing your limits, no joke, pup. You want to know the secret to 40 successful years of Merc with? Knowing when to walk away. So here I am, looking after the next generation of glory-hungering hot doggers. He looks at me pointedly. I continue rubbing my shoulder, glance away as I hear I continue rubbing my shoulder, glance away as I clear my throat. No idea what you mean, I'm sure. Anyways, if you really want to know if that singer's got a unique flavor, go use that mouth on his ego. Maybe you'll get lucky. And look back and suck my teeth, pointing to the gun. Don't be nasty, Jeff. The lady will hear you. He cracks a grin and then sweeps her hand over the console, wrapping up the scan. You gotta get yourself shot one day, Wally. I just haven't decided if it's gonna be from your mouth or your melon. He shakes his head. Now let's get your smart ass inside. You're holding up my line. I glance over my shoulder and notice how a line has indeed started to snake behind me. The entryway is getting packed too. Must be the singer business. Jeff meanwhile steps over and gently pulls the coat from my shoulders. I'm wearing a red thermal Henley beneath, so my arms slide out easily. I idly wonder if this singer might know something about story time about me, but Jeff is right about the risk. Even if the guy did, his corporal masters might find out I was asking the wrong sort of questions. And I have Kavir's contact to worry about anyways. Be discreet and listen. That would certainly apply to meeting a celebrity jazz singer. But what business would Kavir have with someone that high profile? Jeff knuckles my head as he walks away. What's this all about, anyways? It's not like you to be starstruck. It's complicated. I gently jabbed his side. Maybe you can answer something for me, though. He looks from the offending hand to my face, eyebrow lifted. The expensive hardwood floor creaks as he carries my gear into the storage room. Maybe I can. He hangs up my coat and then taps a few buttons to open a secure wall panel, fondling my gun one last time. How did Dad manage to look? Well, how did Dad manage to book a singer, especially at the last minute? Jeff snorts. Stupid question. I exhale and rub my forehead. Ugh. Dad keeps those kinds of details close to his chest, even with us. Thankfully, Jeff is much more open. He hears lots of chatter between his own fame and security duties. Maybe he'll throw me a bone. Fine, but I'm sure you know something. He looks me up and down as he hands my gear off to some spotter drones and then closes the panel. What if I do? Come on, don't be like that. You're really trying to sweet talk me like I'm some kind of diner waitress. Yes? I offer him my brightest grin. He shoots me a serious look. I'll give you this, but only 'cause I'm real nice. Guy goes by Crowd. Heard about him here and there. Something about him being an ex-PI or ex-PI. If he's got a deeper story than that, it's been pretty well buried. Whatever the case, he's patronized by the Aloes now, so it's all tied up with corporal family politics. But that's no surprise. So are all singers. You know the deal. Right. The joys of being leased to the company. I tap my chin. That means trouble, Ravi. Jeff gives me another thorough once-over, and then shakes his head. If you really want to talk to him, he'll be in the dressing rooms. But you want to be quick about it, because Aaron was complaining about needing to run over some last-minute changes in the program with him. Could take a bit. He returns to the desk, meeting my eyes before keying some details into his console. I stepped uncomfortably. Also, his patron's here. What? One of the Aloes? Not one of the Aloe. The Secretary of Defense? He smugly folds his arms, eyes glinting. I need to go. I hurriedly point towards the stage. He grins. I bet you do. And Ravi. I glance behind my shoulder as I quickly shuffle forward. Corporals are serious business. Whatever hot dogging nonsense you're up to, don't fuck it up. I nervously grin and figure gun at him before rushing towards the bar. Gotta figure out if this Crown really is the right guy before he's inaccessible. But there's no go. But there's no getting down to the dressing room without passing Ureli at her usual station. I need to be slick. Whatever made Dad think she was an ideal candidate for attending bars still mystifies me, and yet I spot the Vopine nun methodically wiping glasses. Dressed in her usual, if I must, minimalistic, formal attire, she stands in imposing contrast to the lurid atmosphere like water crashing against foreboding cliffs. Captivating and treacherous, she effortlessly flips her polished glass in her hand as if to judge its clarity, and then fluidly sets it down among the others. It's all martial efficiency, I know, but it's easy to mistake the expression of her hands for something else. Art, maybe. There's something between the challenge of her demeanor and the harmony of her accent. It draws people to her orbit. As I crouch to evade it and sneak by, her eyes flick up. Her fingers twitch. Ravi. Shit. I feign a stretch as I glance to the far end of the club and the backstage door. I could just book it and deal with the consequences later. Then I sigh. That kind of impulsiveness is exactly what got me in trouble with Dad this morning. Hopefully Crown stays free a little longer. Yuri. I smile and slide onto one of the bar's high stools. You came back. She looks to me, towards the stage and back to her work. I clear my throat. I have some time to cool off. Look at Vera, no doubt. My booted foot nervously taps one of the stool legs. Maybe. Why? Don't be nosy. Then control your foot. She retrieves her new glass of polish. And don't blush. I step on my own foot as I feel my face heat up. I finally quickly try to rub it away. I was literally just outside. It's the cold, not whatever you're thinking. I hate this woman, sometimes. Cordance Sage holds nothing to whatever missing senses she's got. Since you have the time to lie to yourself, assist me. She slides 2 glasses across the bar and tosses me a wag. I seriously consider throwing it back in her face. Fine, just know I can see what you're doing. I waggle the wag at her, preparing some misguided attempt to work me through being irritated with Dad, right? She usually tries to play meditator between us in her way. She usually tries to play meditator or medit. She usually tries to play mediator between us in her way. We can skip it. I do have more important tasks than indulging paternal drama, so feel however you like. Good, I'm in a hurry. She gestures with her head towards the remaining glassware. Besides, as you evangelize your abilities so well this morning, I have faith in your ability to multitask. Be irritated while you polish. I open my mouth to respond, but then close it peevishly. Fine. I lift the glass and start polishing with rough, annoyed strokes. She watches my movements with displeasure. The music fills our silence as we stare each other down. What do you have against Kavira anyways, really? Like you, he's impulsive. That's not fair. You could just as easily call him brave. Reckless. I roll my eyes. Must everything be a sparring match? Decisive. She stops wiping the glass. Foolish. I lean forward. Daring. Catalyst. Sincere. Charming. Hands, wait, you think he's charming? Yuri sighs as she finally sets down her towel. I'm not blind, child. Yes, he's charming, but he's also indiscreet. He'll beguile you and the 10 other men he's courting right into trouble. Likely with each other. If you're looking for security, you won't find it with him. She snatches up her towel and tosses it, turning to rearrange some bottles. If bruises aren't on the table, she organizes when she's upset. I understand what she's getting at. My relationship with Kavir has always been too ambiguous for her liking. It works for us, though. He supported me today, after all. Anyways, it's now her business. Beguile. Courting. Yuri. I know you're out of touch, but I'm not some child prince. He's my best friend. I elbow lean against the bar and stage whisper. I know all about how he gets around. Besides, I smirk. Don't you understand the art of the flirt? She glances over her shoulder and narrows her eyes. No. Look away, my stool creaks. Well, Dad certainly knows all about it. She grunts, and her bottles got her. You would do well to take after your father in that regard, as little as possible. I finished polishing and slide a glass towards her. She catches it without turning. Yeah, well, one problematic quality of many. You remember the whole "don't call me Dad anymore" bit earlier, right? I do. She stacks the first glass and gestures for the second. I don't give it to her yet. What do you think? How irritating for him. I lift both glass and towel in a helpless gesture. Well, I'm sorry you had to witness that. You just made me stupidly angry. I felt like a kid again, storming out into the damn mint fields. Yuri looks to the side and regards a glass of water filled with thin, blue-green stalks, bushy with small, textured leaves and tiny blue-white flowers like ice and powdered snow. Peppermint for the drinks. She starts to reach for one, then she pauses. I can't pretend to be party to his thoughts, but I do know he loves you. She plucks one, rolling the thin stalk between her fingers. If connections existed without pain or consequence, we wouldn't value them nearly so much. She turns, keeping her eyes on the spinning leaves before eventually before setting it down. But sometimes we still need the reminder that they matter. Our eyes meet as she similarly attempts to pluck the glass from my hand. I smile and promptly toss a towel at her face. Naturally, she catches it. I'll be okay. I worked out all the anger already, mostly. I just feel a little ridiculous is all. Haven't been that torn up about it. Yui sets down the towel and then reaches out to warmly squeeze my wrist. Vulnerability isn't weakness, child. You express yourself honestly. There's value in that. I settled in my seat and turned towards the stage. Did I? Value in being explosive and easily read, I guess. Perhaps there's nothing inherently good or bad about anger. It simply is. People are starting to fill in now, so Jeff must be working through the line. I really should get going, but something keeps me stuck. Guilt, maybe? She looks towards the stage as well, probably to see if she can find whatever it is that's bothering me. Good luck. What you need is to learn about control. We can always restart meditate. We both know how that ended last time. I don't want to be punched for falling asleep. I set down the glass and slided towards her far side, knowing she'll have to release my wrist to catch it. She does. Then don't complain about lacking discipline. I put my hand back and rub it. She pulls back to turn and stack the glass. We both take a breath. Thanks for being terrible at... Thanks for being terrible at emotional support. If that's what it takes to challenge and prepare me for what? I fold my arms. Does that mean if I meet your militant standards, you're not opposed to me leaving, getting my own place, taking more dangerous jobs? Yuri opens her mouth to speak, but her serious expression quickly turns withering as one of the gathering patrons begins to approach. The woman is dressed in a smart suit coat with a holographic miniskirt covering her legs. The cyberware in her neck and face is aesthetically concealed, the kind of hardware only corporals can find. Wonderful. The woman is dressed in a smart suit coat with a holographic miniskirt covering her legs. The cyberware in her neck and face is aesthetically concealed, the kind of hardware only corporals can afford. Yui seems to get that impression as well. Excuse me. The woman clears her throat. My apologies for the interruption, but Secretary Torov just requested a drink to be prepared for him once his business with the proprietor concludes. The Secretary of Defense, also known as Torov. Olovostorov. Sit. I checked the time on my display. Has it been that long? Hopefully he's keeping Dad busy. He said to make it one of your esteemed Homeland specials. Her left eye flashes and then projects a credit tabulation, which she then flicks towards the large glowing payment receiver. I'm pretty sure I said extra digit beyond our normal prices before the visual dissolves. Yui's expression does not warm as he checks the payment. I'll endeavor not to poison him. She waves the woman off. The attendant, however, looks unnerved. While he did joke you'd say something to that effect, you can't just leave. Yuri turns back to me as the attendant looks uncomfortably between us and then spins on her heel rather than engage Yuri further. I can't blame her, honestly. I'm already halfway off my stool to rush downstairs, but something about the whole exchange bothers me. A steamed Homeland special? A debased cocktail. It uses blood of the mother as sacred Yachin funerary wine. Every batch includes a drop of blood from a fallen racing warrior. Oh, fuck. Isn't shit like that illegal? Luxury items aren't part of the embargo. Your father feels obliged to keep a bottle around to satisfy perverse tastes. She sets her jaw. This is precisely why I worry, Ravi. This city has no love for us. If you leave, I won't be around to protect you. I deflate a bit. But haven't I proven I can take care of myself? Against ordinary problems, yes. Well, that's something. There was an extraordinary problem. I can't possibly prepare you for every danger this city has to offer. Come on, Yuri. If you can't protect me from the constant unknown, isn't the whole point of living to experience a little risk? What? You sound like your father. Is that even a compliment? No. Wow, I love you too. The fight suddenly drains out of her. She picks up the sprig of mint before, pinching it between her index and forefinger. For a moment, those foreboding cliffs look motherly. I know. I realize I'm fully out the stool. When I'm fully off the stool and anxiously tapping the bar, I stop. In a hurry? No. Yes. It's fine. Go talk to your father. She pauses for a moment, looking me over thoughtfully. Now I feel guilty. Now I really feel guilty. You must sometimes remind yourself that there are no correct journeys, no truly defined paths. Only choices. She holds the mint up to her nose, inhales slowly, and then gestures towards the backstage door as if she's entirely figured me out. It's not my place to take those from you. Quoting from scripture again? No. Ravi. Yeah? Just know that if you ever truly need me, she holds out the little sprig, green leaves, veined with blue. I will find you. Her gloved finger touches mine as I pluck the sprig from her fingers. Its aroma is cool and fresh. I know. I jog away, nervously rolling the stem between my fingers. There's no time to reflect on my guilt or give Yuri's commentary much thought as I weave around, talk, and tables to reach the backstage door. The music's volume howls the moment the door shuts. I hurry down a flight of stairs into the basement. Thankfully, the dressing rooms aren't far from the stage. I should make it just in time. Is there a request, Aaron? I immediately flattened myself against the wall. Damn it, I don't need to be running into Dad right now. I better not fuck this up. I fumble with my pants pockets for a moment, dumbly trying to stow the mint without questioning. I end up sliding it into my hair before slowly peeking around the corner. The closed doors of dressing rooms line the long hallway. Dad and two well-dressed door rolls are standing in front of the celebrity suit. Crown suit. Great. It won't be 2 months longer before he performs, going by our normal schedule. How do I get these jokers to move? I doubt waylaying Crown in the hallway on his way to the stage is going to earn me points, especially if he's not the right guy. Damn, I need time alone with him. The larger of the two men looms over Dad. His expression treads the line between seductive and menacing. Deep growling echoes down the hall. Need I remind you that your family's provisional citizenship exists only because I find you amusing? And while I do enjoy seeing you squirm, everyone has their own master to answer to. He leans his muzzle so close, I'm sure Dad can smell his breath. I can barely hear him rumble. I need results, Edwin. Results? I feel like I'm about to tip over, craning to hear. I'm going to get caught if I keep poking out my head like an idiot. I sit me further back and tap my earpiece to some of my vision. Doing so allowed me to call up our security protocols and holographic display and access to the closed-circuit camera feeds pointed at the hallway. Passed into the system, I direct the sensors at the conversing men until I can see and hear them clearly without panting a target on my head. I can think and eavesdrop. Thank you very much, Yui. You misunderstand me, Torwolf. No need for threats. I'm simply asking questions, not giving excuses. Torwolf. Aloha Starwolf. Secretary Creepy Twink. I wore my face and tried not to groan. As if Dad being here wasn't bad enough. If Kavir knew I'd have to get through the fucking Secretary of Defense, I'm going to beat him up. I live for the chairman's pleasure, of course. Of course. He pulls back a little. It would indeed be a shame for our profitable arrangement to sour. The information provided continues to prove quite useful, and I find I do generally enjoy your diversions on occasion. Only on occasion, Torwolf, I'm hurt. Keep delivering, and that will be the extent of any pain. Without warning, Torwolf quickly steps forward, crowding Dad's space and forcing him back against the wall. What follows is barely audible, unless I decide you want it. Yeah, but Dad seems unfazed, reaching out to pat the wolfman's large shoulder. The man behind Torwolf appears uncomfortable. Bodyguard, maybe? What's this all about, Dad? I will gladly listen to you enumerate your preferred debasement, Torwolf. He barely nods to the other man and then looks back to the wolf in front of him with raised eyebrows. In private. Torwolf chuckles. The two men are still very close. Bleh. I take a moment to pull up the floor's electrical schematics. Maybe if I blow a light or trip an alarm, they'll fucking move. I simply require more details. I was not, in fact, resisting the order. I remain, as always, fully committed to the chairman's service. Chairman this, chairman that. I hate to think you're simply using me to warm into the chairman's good graces, perhaps slip in a wedge of doubt or a seed of malcontent. He leans down, his teeth almost grazing Dad's ear. I like you, Avon. You're slippery. I challenge the cats and chew. Another name for Erwin. I guess this is his real name, I guess. You're slippery. I challenge the cats and chew. He then pulls up, thumb and fang. But take care not to be too challenging. I have a propensity for breaking toys that don't play by my rules. Dad doesn't flinch, which surprises me. I'm sure he didn't enjoy having his story name covered in slime. I also strive to be only moderately stimulating. You do that. Torwolf motions over the man behind him. He's similar to Torwolf, except the other guy is wearing an agent suit and is way more cybered out. His eye looks like some kind of fancy Yolong model, but without the usual cordant shades. I doubt he knows me yet. This is taking too damn long, and I don't want to fuck with an ancient. Ugh. I swipe away the electrical schematics and opt for something more direct. Typing Dad message. Hey, can we talk in my room? I believe you meant my son, Agent Eladameric. Yikes, 2 aloes. These are the big sits, the real stinkers in the chairman's toilet. But if it does come down to talking my way in, Tarwolf I can manage. He seems more like a talker than a fighter. Dad wouldn't be indulging him. Talkers I can handle. I zoom in. Looking at you, Dad. Of course, he checks our guest audits periodically. Good evening, Derek. With your damn pad, Samerton. I was at the feed. The younger of the wolfmen doesn't look Dad in the eyes at first, instead giving him a slow once over, like he's wanting some kind of analysis. Then he nods stiffly. Mr. Aaron, this guy is likely to be a problem. Agents are dangerous even without their toys. Probably has some kind of biometric sensor to detect lies. I'm glad I didn't trip an alarm. He'd probably go into nasty bodyguard mode. Marvelous. Derek, give the man his details. There's hesitation, but much like with the attendant earlier, Derek's left eye eventually flashes and projects a data stream which he flicks towards Dad. A beep issues from Dad's pocket, from which he retrieves a miniature pad that projects an expanded holographic dossier. He's never been one for neutral interfaces. Someone might steal my thoughts. He swipes through the data twice before waving away the information, pausing briefly to check something on the pad's physical screen. An indicator flashes on my display. Message read. Bless read receipts. Now move. I will view this fully later. Will you kindly summarize? Biz, are you leaving me on read? Derek flexes an augmented hand. Another hesitation. As Father mentioned, we just recently retrieved some information from the ancient laboratories beneath the company Arcology. Dad lifts a brow. So do I. Indeed. I was under the impression the structure had been fully mined of its usefulness long ago. The accessible portions, yes, but the structure's subterranean is quite extensive and parts of it remain obstructed and unexplored. And periodically, we cover and restore what we can. Fascinating. The information must be quite valuable then. He taps the pad against his open hand. I imagine the more sensitive details had been omitted from the dossier. Naturally. Derek nods again. All I'm permitted to say is that the data has revealed a particular location of interest, hence the request. Certainly the chairman has the resources to mount an expedition without my assistance. Of course, but even the chairman has rivals, and is watched closely. It would be best to employ an informed but clandestine third party. However dubious. He offers Dad a knowing look. Are you implying I'm some sort of spy? Derek glances around the hallway and then to his father. Tarwolf smirks. Is the subterfuge and misdirection truly necessary? We know what it is. Dad presses a hand to his chest. Derek, is this what you truly think of me? He tucks with a shake of his head and then rests the pad against his chin. But fear, Tarwolf. I do have more secure accommodations for sensitive discussion than the hallway. He holds out a finger. With my patrons, of course. Oh, thank Kyle. Now leave. Derek is rubbing his eyes, annoyed, while Tarwolf sighs and pulls back his sleeve to check an antique timepiece set on a gold band. He moves to tap it, but something there catches his attention. A sudden turn towards the wall and his hidden camera. A small head tilt and his nose in the air. I glance down the hallway. Another smirk. Oh, I'm certain news of the discovery will leak quite soon. My blood freezes. Both Dad and Derek look at the man. So, this question makes little difference. Without the location's coordinates, however, there's nothing anyone can do about it. And those are extremely well secured, of course. It's just anyone with a knowledge, as if as is anyone with knowledge of them. He smiles in a way that broadly shows his fangs. Either to the camera or Dad, I can't tell, but then smooths out his sleeve. I try to melt into the wall, my heart pumping. No way, man. A long scream in my head as I bug out. Fuck. I almost bang a fist against the wall. So for the foreseeable future, at least, all interested parties will be forced to bide their time while we arrange our little affair. Speaking of which, Derek is opposed to your involvement. It has made something of a pastime out of collecting information about your life story. Wait, information about Dad? This is too important to bug out on us. This is too important to bug out on now. I focus the surveillance on Derek. Father. Taro shrugs. You did ask to drop the subterfuge. Besides, you must realize he already knows. Really, Tarwolf, must we always play this game? I'm no more of a spy than Derek is an anarchist. I'm a loyal agent of the chairman. Dad raised a hand. Point being that I'm afraid you're allowing your imagination to run away with you. And what exactly is the likelihood of poor outcasts from the SWAT managers to work their way up to running one of the most celebrated clubs in the city, becoming so exceptionally well connected? He gestured to his father. Having personal meetings with the Secretary of Defense during the Cold War, I never my eyes. He's not wild. Dad's never been entirely forthcoming about his work. Dad turns to Torwolf. You never mentioned he was a fan. He turns back to Derek. Perhaps I'm simply an immigrant who worked very hard and got a little lucky. Torwolf snorts. Derek ignores him, staring Dad down in a way that suggests he does in fact have some kind of lie detector. Simply, with a personal race and warrior none. Dad waggles his finger. An outcast, race and warrior none. Is there truly something so strange about outcasts finding each other and banding together? Two outcasts of your collective talents, yes. Dad always said he knew Yuri before her exile. Is he just playing this guy? Flatterer. But on the contrary, wouldn't you say competence attracts competence? So you're what then? An outcast spy? I never said I was either. Besides, how could I possibly be both? Double agent. You must truly think very highly of me to presume I can manage a club, a vast network of contacts while spying and being a father. I knew you liked me. I rubbed my temple, uncomfortable with a sudden feeling I might have a flawed understanding of my own history, and they still haven't moved. I'm getting more and more anxious. Did Torwolf bring this up just for my sake, to mess with everyone, both? Torwolf pats his son's shoulder. You can stop scanning him. Hold it. I warned you not to indulge this. You can stop scanning him. Called it. I warned you not to indulge his disassembly. There's little point. He has an astonishing talent for filling the air with empty words. Derek grunts unpleasantly, but does seem to relent. Besides, I think we can all agree the consequences of playing multiple loyalties would be dire, especially when one has so much to lose. I'm sure I don't know what you mean. Of course you don't. He grips Dad's shoulder and points his claws, denting the cloth. One would need to be extremely subtle. After all, flawless. For the first time, Dad looks genuinely uncomfortable. I don't appreciate the implication. Relax. He releases his hand, stretching out his claws in a clear view of Dad's face, as if checking them for dirt. Then he wipes the side of one down Dad's bearded cheek. If I had reason to believe you were going to double-cross me, these claws wouldn't be so clean. Dad frowns. Something Torvald said must have really caught him off guard for his usual mask of casual levity to falter twice. Do your part and coordinate with Derek, and everything will be fine. He'll accompany your group as insurance. For all of us. Derek suddenly reaches out to rest a hand on his father's arm, guiding it away from Dad's face. The other elbow laughs and then pats the youngest hand with his own. Father, enough. I'll handle him in my own way. I have my orders. Still chuckling, Torvald suddenly squeezes Derek's hand a little too tightly and winces away. Now free, Torvald considers his son with a chilling grin. Do you now? Derek shoots his father a warning look. Mr. Aaron. The wolf's eyes remain locked. Yes. It takes a moment for Derek to chance turning. It takes a moment for Derek to chance turning his eyes away from Torvald. My distrust aside, if you keep me verifiably apprised of all your activities, I'll have no reason to hinder your work or preparations. I'll even see that you're assisted should I feel comfortable that you're working in the chairman's best interest. His tone darkens, and have nothing to hide. Dad will discover his fake smile. My dear Derek, everyone has something to hide. Though I doubt you'd be interested in my indulgent collection of bad poetry. Be that as it may, Derek is absolutely right. Someone should keep an eye on you and your poetry. The elder will slide an arm around his son's shoulders with all the companionship of a boring storm. Consider it in order to stay here until the expedition is prepared. Son, and try to use the extra time to loosen up that stick in your eyes. What, Father? I don't think... Derek. His arm tightens. Derek suddenly snarls and pushes the arm away, staring back in challenge. I don't report to you, Father. A growled series of dares rumbles between them. Fangs and snarls flash in answer. The very air seems to crackle, threatening to ignite until Dad clears his throat. And then, like clearing the skies, Derek suddenly seems to remember himself and relents, glumly turning away. Yes, sir. With equal alacrity, Torvald's demeanor likewise shifts. Good lad. I'll work things out with Director Hardell tomorrow. The Director of Cordons. Says Cordons. I also have the chairman's best interest in mind after all. He'll be furious. Not your concern. Focus your attention here. I also have the chairman's best interest in mind after all. Hadir will see the wisdom in this, just as you did. I'll make sure of it. Torwolf pats his shoulder and then leans in to whisper something my feed doesn't pick up. That's probably my cue. They probably won't move anytime soon. And I'm starting to feel like I might have judged these wolves all wrong. Best not to prove Jill right and get my ass shot. I quickly pull up the club's security protocols I'd created a lip reading function some time ago for Dad to snoop over video feeds in his downtime. I won that, and then scram. Figure out some other way of getting the crown. Okay, let's just close out of the security feed shows Torwolf about to round the corner. Fuck. I quickly stood off my vision and practically stumbled over myself as I pushed off from the wall. My, eavesdropping on a company secretary. You really are your father's son. I freeze. Wavian, yes. Another name for Wavi. I don't. He holds a finger to his muzzle. Think real hard on what you're about to say. Tell. Damn it. I'll swallow hard. I mean, it's Wavi. How'd you know? Good lad. To answer your question, you have a similar scent and a strikingly similar look as well. I ways you could pass as your father at the same age. Though you might be more handsome. The man extends his paw-like hand. No. Excuse me? I meant my name. Ah yes, the William story names. Well, it is my business to know all about our adversaries. I do oversee Laotian intelligence after all. As I understand it, they are your true names, yes? Your person stripped of all falsehoods and artifice. Noble names, like mine. He looks from me to his paw and back again. He's still smiling. Now, don't be rude. I want to yell at him that Wayan didn't join Sred thus far willingly. He got story names all wrong. That he's got story names all wrong. That they will never fit right in his mouth. But I'm trapped. So I wrap my fingers around his and try to smile. His paw is huge. My whole hand could fit inside his palm. But the shake is gentler than I expected. There, not so hard, huh? I'm sure you've heard already, but for formality's sake, I am Aloha Starov. My true name. He keeps my hand in his even after the handshake finishes. Though Torwolf is fine in a pedestrian setting like this, asshole, the respite is far from pedestrian, and I'm getting sick of feeling his paw around my hand. I feel myself glaring without meaning to. Dad would be hurt to hear you said that. His grin widens. Suddenly my body lurches forward. My arms been lifted above my head and my knuckles are being squeezed so hard that I gasp. I'm inches from his chest. I can feel his breath on my hair. His other arm wraps around my shoulder, pinning me to him. His bulk feels just like Kavir's, but he's snarling, and I wonder how hurt Edward would be if something happened to you. He twists my palm around, pressing down and back. My heels come off the floor. I've been in this exact hold countless times before, sparring. But it doesn't matter. The only result of years and years of combat training is that I managed not to scream. I push uselessly with my free arm. There's no way out of the hold. His massive paw is holding me still while he bends my crushed wrist further and further. I gasp for air like I'm drowning. How hurt might you really be? I hear him telling me to focus, but I can't. His thumb is bending something that shouldn't be bent. It's about to snap. I brace myself. He then releases my arm. He then releases my wrist. I wince into my chest, trying to catch my breath. My hand feels like it's been run over by a string roller. While I cradle my bruised knuckles, the paw around my shoulder slides down to the small of my back. It's warm, even through my shirt. He pulls me forward. Do you even consider how this little exercise might end? My stomach turns. I'm paralyzed. I can't respond. All I can think about is my hand throbbing. I feel him staring down at me, smiling. His voice softens. You've entered a dangerous game, Ravi. He dips down so we're eye to eye. I don't dare look away. He takes my injured hand and lifts it up so we can both see it. 3 of the knuckles are already purple. It hurts to move my fingers. He turns it over delicately in his paw, examining it like a piece of fine jewelry. When he looks at me again, I feel like I'm going to vomit. And now I can't help but wonder, how will you play? The same as your father, Dan. I feel it suddenly bubble out of me. A surge of anger, a clarion call of all Dad's lies and missteps. No, clarity through pain. Get it together, Ravi. Observe. I can hear his nostrils taking in my scent, his tongue working over a fang. Consider. He's waiting for something, guarding me. I don't know what he's after, but being intractable seemed to work for Dad. I can get out of this. Execute. We're not the same. I push my foot forward into one of Yuri's stances and lower my center of gravity. The twist and sidewise pull is a little too forceful and I stumble, but the motion does free me from his grasp. Or he lets me go. I can't tell. Amusing. A small observation. You're not as different as you think. You certainly don't have his finesse, but you've got his spunk. He straightens his sleeves and then smooths down his shirt. Fortuitous for you, as I can always use more mutually rewarding relationships with capable men. So I'm willing to look past this little incident if you agree to a few small conditions. Here's how this is going to work. First, best if you don't mention this to your father. Oh, don't fret about anything you heard harmless. Your father does enjoy a good verbal sparring, as I'm sure you know. Sometimes he just needs a reminder of who makes the rules. Second, are you two fucking? I blurted out. I'm still breathing hard, favoring my bruised hand. All impulse control gone. The wolf's brow lifts in unadulterated surprise. The following laughter echoes like an avalanche down the hallway. I beg your pardon. It's a simple question, and a presumptuous one. The gall on you. I could just ask Dad, and how do you think that will go? Damn them both. I'm not an unreasonable man, Ravi. If you want answers, I'll gladly provide them once they have been earned. Which leads us to my second condition. One day soon, I'm going to contact you. You're going to answer. He holds up a finger before I can protest. I just want you to take the call, Ravi. I'm not demanding you agree to anything else. Simply, regardless of where you are, whatever you're doing, you will answer. And third, you're going to tell me why you were lurking over there. See? Small conditions. Small, you almost broke my damn fingers. Indeed. Almost. Nothing a simple analgesic gel won't remedy. A small lesson to be mindful where you point your cameras. I shoot him a hard, seething look. How did he know? He smiles back. So if I don't agree, what, you'll beat me up? He chuckles. Nothing, so of course. He gestures from me to the wall. It would be a shame to have you arrested for espionage, but I do take my position very seriously. I can feel the sticky heat of my sweat. That's the very last thing I need. Fine, I get it. So, you're really not worried about anything I heard? You are very interrogative. For a young man in such a precarious situation. But as I said earlier, it doesn't really matter. Fortunately for you, he holds out his hand. His left one this time. I eye it warily. Do you agree to my conditions? I look between my wounded hand and his. Much as before, I don't really see another option. We say, excellent. Now, he spreads his arms wide. Why was this? I wanted to meet Crown. You're serious. And Dad isn't the most forthcoming about the shit he gets up to. So when you heard us talking, you got curious. Yeah, Torvald shakes his head. Evan really should have raised you with a little more impulse control. You always tried, at least. Well, allow me to at least make all this trouble worthwhile. A gesture of good faith, if you will. Come, I'll introduce you to Crown. Oh, great. I hope I look starstruck instead of mortified. A sweep of his arm invites me to lead us down the hallway. I step around the corner and walk a bit like I'm being forced marched to an execution. At least I'm getting to Crown, even if it's the absolute worst way possible. He better be the right guy. Dad and Derek appear to be gone, having moved into the living quarters just a ways down, probably so we quickly find ourselves at Crown's dressing room door. Toe makes to wrap his knuckles around it, against it, but then pauses. Why do you want to meet Crown? He is a challenging man. Not nearly so congenial as myself. When he smiles, I can't help but feel like it's the same expression he used to regard a good cut of meat. I decided to use the same line I used with Jeff. Professional interest, I never met a jazz singer. I work with jazz all the time in the software I build. So the idea someone can just make that shit work without gear is fascinating. I nod, so does he. Apparently the announcement is just a courtesy, as 12 immediately opens the wooden door. Crown? Sitting in front of the Lord's vanity mirror is a tall, beautifully antlered man with long ears and a lean body. He's dressed in a dark suit, elaborate circuitry, branching all up and down the left side of his blazer like some sort of electric tree. I take it the posturing is over. His voice is deeper than I expect and smooth, like any rough edges have been intentionally sanded off so the sound can slide right through you. He also hides his accent well, and though I can tell it's not native and definitely not from Swadhisvar, I can't place it. He glances over his shoulder and his placid expression darkens immediately. Torwolf. The large wolf sees himself in and closes the door. He regards Crown with the same smile as before. Crown regards him with daggers. Get out. He turns back to the mirror, carefully rubbing oil or lacquer or something onto the branch of an antler. Pick up the warm corpse of my muse as you go. Settle down. I'm simply here to introduce the son of the proprietor. I know who he is. Do you also know he's a fan? Well, let's not. Torwolf places a finger close to my lips. I consider biting it. Tell him to grab a sock or something. I really must insist you play nice. There's a sharp edge to his voice. Crown seems to hear it too, flicking his eyes towards me in the mirror. They narrow. What do you want? That is a very good question. How in all dark cyber sorcery am I supposed to do this with Torwolf in the room? Well, I've never met a jazz singer before, and I was talking with Nightlight about how the fuck kind of kid name is Nightlight. Crap. Could this not be the right guy? Cal, it's just a hot dogger name. Kike. You don't need to be shitty about it. Friend, dude, bro, sis. I made things for punks, runners, cyber jockeys, you know? They all have names like that. No shit, what's yours? Girling, or Jilling. He walks 2 fingers condescendingly across the side of the vanity. What? No, that's a stupid name. Is it? Sounds like you. He checks his nails. Wannabe gearhead grumpy kid, barely a man, obviously clueless as to who he's getting involved with. He looks coldly at Torwolf's reflection. If you can't at least figure out that much, I've got nothing more to say. Fuck you, man. What is he even going on about? Don't be insulting. I'm certain he knows exactly who he's getting involved with. Girling, grumpy kid. He sounds just like... Oh. Otherwise, he wouldn't be here. But I'm gonna kill him. That's right, Wivy. Torwolf passed my soda. Huh? Oh, right, yeah. I found. I may have overheard something about Torwolf's rules. I carefully flexed my bruised hand, which, I looked between the two of them. Civility isn't a rule. I like to think of it as a courtesy. He lifts his hands. Crown does not. The singer finally spins his chair to stare the wolf down. Really, Torwolf, now with a kid? He taps a finger at me. Don't be so dramatic. I scratched the back of my head and turned to Crown. Well, if civility isn't a rule, isn't Torwolf your patron or something? He seems like the kind of guy to have bad attitudes like yours dumped out in the white. Crown stares at me, like full on, are you insane? Torwolf barely laughs, his rough tone filling the room. I would never. No, you like to personally deal with your problems. He makes a violent swiping motion with his fingers. The more challenging, the better. I like to keep my job interesting. Besides, what kind of military leader would I be if I delegated everything? I must set a good example after all. Example. Crown motions with finger quotes. Just call it what it is to you. A game, easy prey is boring prey. And what I say, and might I say, that you're acting especially challenging right now. Crown looks disgusted and then turns to me. Get the fuck on with it. Just, yikes. I'm pretty sure he's the right guy now, with Kavir blabbing about that stupid-ass pet name. But Crown is hard to read. I just wanted to know more about what you can do, you know? See if I can learn something I might apply to my tech. Something for jazz running. A meaningful look passes between us, one he quickly dismisses with a frustrated huff. Fine. He looks hard at me again and then swivels back around, opening a drawer in the vanity and retrieving a small box. He tosses it at me sideways. One of those at my last performance last night. I catch it sliding off the top. It looks like a pair of earplugs. The Jack Stack pulls back his sleeve and checks a platinum, jazzed out timepiece. 3 hours. Thanks, but I don't need these. I know all about you being a singer. I make special equipment for staff to avoid being affected by stuff like that. Just wear the damn plugs, kid. I saw the desire to snap back. Torvalds glances over my shoulder. Ah, yes. Orwell jazz dampeners. Kimberlane. Military grade. I guess he really doesn't trust your tech. One of the businesses integrated into the Office of Defense. Kimberlane Logistics and Weapons Solutions. C3S. It's quite impressive, really. For the, I spun a circle around my temple. Narcotic effects? That heavy paw pats my shoulder affirmatively. I really wish he'd stop touching me. Glad to hear you're not a complete idiot. We can talk again after you see what I can do. Until then, get out. Torvald closes the door behind us once he's ushered me back out into the hallway. So, everything you hoped he'd be? Bit of an ass. The big man chuckles. An understatement. But to answer your earlier question, yes, I'm his patron, and yes, I do indulge his attitude. No one else will put up with him. But I see his talent, so I've invested in him. Much as I do with your father, as you know. How is extorting me an investment? How is extorting me an investment? I'm a pragmatic opportunist. Is it extortion, or is it a calculated venture to see what you're capable of? I honestly didn't expect him to just admit it. I fold my arms and look away. It's definitely extortion. Maybe it's both. Opportunity rarely comes without risk, so I mitigate the risk. After all, reality is a harsh mistress, and it's best to deal with her open-eyed, surrounded by a collection of partners and tools. You can choose to be the former, or you can be made into the latter. I'm tired of lectures, especially the touching as he pats my shoulder again. Think hard about which you prefer. He lifts his hand, but then pauses, plucking the mint sprig from my hair and tossing it aside. I hope you enjoyed the performance, pup. He turns and walks down the hallway, back towards the main club. Shit, bitch. An indicator from my display suddenly flickers into view. A message from Dad. Give me 10 minutes. I sigh. I can't wait to get back to my room. I bent over to pick up the little sprig of mint, the leaves drooping a little, but their aroma still strong. I hear you, Minty. It's been a long-ass day, but we'll make it. I stand and replace the sprig in my hair, keying my personal code into the security door. Just beyond the door is a large living area attached to a spacious kitchen. See you next time. Alright, so we got to meet the person that Kavir was talking about. I guess he's talking about this person, this moose living type of person. He's a jazz singer, and he's able to use jazz without equipment. And just like what that the I forgot who this name, but just like what he warned, he's not a very pleasant person to talk with. But again, he wasn't all that pleasant himself. You know, he kind of got physical with his dad. And this contact's name is Crown. So yeah, like Torwolf mentioned they first before they came into this room, he's not the most pleasant person. He was just, you know, very rude and just, I don't know, I guess he's so good at what he does that he gets really arrogant and just feels like he doesn't have anything to lose by being a jerk to people. So anyway, Ravi taught him about him being knowledgeable in jazz and technology, and wanted to see what new or additional knowledge he has that he can give him. And Crown kind of did that, and then he had Crown and he had Ravi leave the room with Torwolf. Yeah, so anyway, so Torwolf, I believe. So Torwolf, he's like the Secretary of Defense for Laos, well, for Laos. Patriarch of the Corporal. He's a very high-ranking person in the way Leos is one. You know, his son is I think he's a soldier or the Battle of Sati. Tete was also. The Crown was a private investigator. And apparently Derek Total's son dealt with him before. Alright, so for the Crown. A newer jazz singer of some renown and sponsored by the Allen family. Currently a member of Kavir's jazz-running mercenary crew, his history seems to have been intensely obscured, but it is now clear he left on the trail. His sister became a guest investigator upon his arrival in New Orleans as a test for his history with Derek. Okay, so we always see his relationship with Derek's father just now, so we gonna have to wait and see when, you know, if we see Derek deals with him directly again. So, all right, so I mean, Ravi, he's kind of a little reckless. I mean, I don't think he self eavesdropped on him, because now Tove has some leverage on Ravi. And if Ravi doesn't do what he wants, he can have him put in jail for espionage. Yeah, I think he should have just left, because he's getting himself in more trouble. Again, I think that's the big reason why there's some tension between him and his father because he is kind of reckless. He doesn't really listen a whole lot. He wants to do things his way. So, yeah. So, yeah, that's basically what happened in this video. So we'll continue with String Zero next time. So thank you all very much for watching. Goodbye.